Denver 16th Street Mall, an important and central part of downtown Denver, for better or worse. And for much of the last 5 years, it's been for worse. For the most part, it's gone through a lot in recent times. Since COVID, since even before COVID, 16th Street Mall has been a polarizing part of downtown Denver and has certainly got more bad press than good. But there is hope because a multi-year construction project, which you may be familiar with, is finally, mercifully, allegedly, finishing up in the fall of 2025. And the city has plans for a full-on rebrand in addition to that renovation of 16th Street Mall. We're going to look at where we came from, where we're headed, what's possible, and if there's any chance that this stretch of downtown will finally turn into something that doesn't suck. If you've watched this channel before, you know I'm Sam Newman. I run a real estate team here in the Denver Metro. It's our goal to be your go-to real estate resource for anything. My contact information is all over this video. If you have any real estate needs, even if it's just having a conversation, we would love to have that conversation with you. Okay, so 16th Street. If you're watching this video, you probably already know what it is and where it is, but here's a handy little map that breaks up the different parts of downtown. 16th Street is this green line here running kind of diagonally from Lodo all the way to upper downtown, they call it, which is really the central business district. It's got a lot of history. It was kind of the epicenter of downtown, say 100 years ago. It was converted to a mall in the 80s, a walking mall, meaning pedestrian only, plus the mall ride bus they have. And it has been one of, if not the hardest hit area of downtown, and thus of Denver since COVID. COVID really caused a lot of challenges for downtown, but especially for 16th Street. And even stepping back before that, before 2020, I personally didn't think 16th Street Mall was anything to write home about. I know it's got a history, but the history of it is certainly more interesting than what the present day reality was. But for my money, I moved to Denver in 2011. 16th Street Mall was always kind of a boring, bland afterthought with too many chain restaurants. Seems like it was trying too hard. It seemed like for the most part, there was no reason to ever really go down there. To the point that I would hear from people visiting Denver that go, oh man, I expected more out of Denver. And I'd say, well, where did you go downtown? And inevitably, they would have ended up staying on or near 16th Street. But like I said, there is a full revamping and rebrand in progress, and one major change that's been made recently. This happened in May. You probably saw it. The name changed from 16th Street Mall to just 16th Street. Many I've heard from have mocked this change because it was touted by the city of Denver as this big unveiling, and really it's just obviously dropping one word in the name. And oh, by the way, they paid some London-based consulting firm $100,000 for this rebrand. Funny enough, but that does just seem to be how it goes sometimes. So okay, at least they're trying something. But much bigger than that is this multi-year construction project revamping 16th Street Mall, now 16th Street, to the tune of $175 million. It's a big old civil project trying to modernize, change some areas of it, really revitalize the whole thing because, like I mentioned, it was one of the areas just really hit hard by the pandemic. So what changed? What about 16th Street got so bad during the pandemic and is lingering into today? Well, to me, it's a few things. Number one, vacancy rate for retail and office buildings. So retail on 16th Street, they are currently at a 30% vacancy rate. That's double downtown Denver's overall vacancy rate for retail of 15%. So 16th Street currently has a retail vacancy rate twice that of downtown, which is an already bad vacancy rate. And if you walk up and down it, you can feel it. Basically, a third of the shops or the restaurants or the spaces where those things should be are vacant. Obviously doesn't do much to inspire people to go there. What's behind the vacancy? Well, it was COVID policies, certainly rents going up, the general cost of running a business, especially a restaurant. I've done a video about that before, about Denver's restaurant industry, how hard it's been hit, but the general costs make it very challenging. Now, couple in the fact that you're on a downtown street that people don't want to go to anymore. Yeah, I'd leave too. Then you have the office vacancy rate. I did a whole video about that, how Denver's office space values have plummeted, especially downtown in the areas around 16th Street. Office space there is at a 35% vacancy rate right now. So people, of course, because of work from home policies, are not occupying those offices. There's not as much foot traffic downtown. In fact, if you look at this graph from a Denverite article about this very thing, by the way, Denverite does such a good job reporting on these things. I look to their stuff all the time. They've got this great article about 16th Street, how it became a ghost town and how the city hopes to resurrect it. Really recommend checking it out. But they take data from the Downtown Denver Partnership, put it in this nice graph here, and this shows average daily visits to downtown Denver from 2017 all the way up to 2024. You see they dropped significantly in 2020, as one would expect, but even after recovering, they're still well below where they were in 2018, 2019. What's interesting though on this line on the bottom, so you see visitors and employees are both down for daily visits, but then on the bottom this line is for residents. And this one has actually crept up a little bit, where if we look at 2017 downtown Denver residents, people who live there, about 17,000. 2024, that's up to over 21,000. So fewer people going there for work, but more people living there. How do we get those people who live there? They should want to go out and experience downtown, especially the new and improved 16th Street. That brings me to what I believe is kind of the biggest detriment to getting 16th Street revitalized: crime and the perception of crime. I've talked about this a bunch on the channel, but right now it is not thought of as a safe place to be by a lot of Denver residents. Downtown in general has this stigma. 16th Street has it especially. We're going to look into it here. And the story about 16th Street Mall and crime really came to a head in January of this year when there was a stabbing spree. Terrible thing. You probably heard about it on the news. 2 people died, a couple more were injured. Not good. And a stabbing spree in a downtown area doesn't sound like a sign of a healthy society. So yes, this is one incident. It's actually like 4 incidents, but still, it's one thing. It plays into the general perception, especially when perception, at least in some ways, lines up with the reality of that crime, especially during the pandemic years and lingering since then, has gone up. Now, City of Denver is telling us downtown crime has come down. We're going to look into those numbers. But when people see a stabbing spree and people getting charged with first-degree murder, doesn't make them want to go down to the place that happened, especially since that place is a shell of what it once was, which wasn't that great to begin with. Do I want to risk being stabbed to go to Cheesecake Factory, which is one of the businesses still open on 16th Street, as far as I know? No, I do not. If it was a Chili's, maybe. Different conversation. So Denver has their crime summary, and I'm going to look at the specific numbers straight from the city of Denver that the Denver Police Department put out. They are organized in these tables here, so sorry, it's a little busy. But basically, violent crime seems to be the one most people are worried about, talking about safety, things like that. They look at a 3-year average here. So from 22 to 2024, post-COVID, post-pandemic recovery era, they have the crime rate, and then we're comparing since then. So since that 3-year average, violent crime in Denver, according to these stats, is down almost 8%. Okay, that's progress. From 24 to 25, it's down almost 5%. Probably not where people would still like it to be, but an improvement. If we filter by district and just look at downtown, which is District 6, violent crime is down less than it was in that 3-year average, 3%, and is actually up 2.36% from 24 to 25. So City of Denver's doing better overall. Downtown doesn't really seem to be, at least based on these numbers. You see right here, if we look at this table on the left, violent crime, 22. 587 instances. And this is year-to-date data. So we're measuring year-to-date. 23, it went up. 24, it came back down. In 2025, it's up a little bit, but pretty flat numbers overall. And I think because of this and because of that perception, this has gotten more and more attention from the mayor's office and city administration. Many people will say they haven't done enough. I don't know. But as of April, they are now deploying mounted police to boost downtown security. That's the headline. There's now going to be cops on horseback downtown. But you dig down, it's not just horse-mounted police. It's a few different things: on foot, on bikes, on motorcycles, on horses. It says the plan includes 10 additional officers dedicated to downtown and 10 extra patrol shifts per day for the next year. Is that enough? I have no idea. It's something. It's a step in the right direction. Also include 5 private security contractors from the Downtown Denver Partnership will also monitor the area, as will some park rangers. If you look at the numbers, it says the Downtown Development Authority, which is this group that was formed to really carry out the revitalization of downtown, will spend about $4 million over the next year to fund overtime shifts for police. Hard to put that into context. So as far as I can tell, crime and the perception of crime is probably the biggest factor in the revitalization of downtown and of 16th Street in particular. Will people come back there? We need to invest economically, and the city is doing that. They're also investing at least some in enforcement and lowering crime, making it safer, making it feel safer. Then, of course, there's this $175 million construction project set to finish finally in the fall. The city's got a website on it. It shows the new look of 16th Street, artist formerly known as 16th Street Mall. There's this little slider here. Let's take a look. So this is what it used to look like, and that's what it looks like now. So to me, I see a lot of similarities. I'm seeing better lighting and saturation and more trees. More trees is good. Greener is good. Cheesecake Factory's still there, I'm afraid. Easy to throw stones from the peanut gallery, or whatever the analogy is. Doesn't look like a ton to me, but what are they doing? Basically, they pulled up a lot of the pavers. They're widening some of the sidewalks. They're trying to make it more pedestrian friendly. More tables, chairs, benches, shade structures, and other things to make people want to hang out there, want to spend time there. Play features designed specifically for kids on 16th Street. That's probably a good idea. Something called Moments of Joy. Elements designed to bring a bit of delight to 16th Street. Make you smile, pause for a moment. Okay. Withhold comment on the Moments of Joy. There's a fish with a saddle. I don't know. These look like more kids features, which sure. Fun for the whole family. But then there's also this Glenarm Plaza. So this is interesting to me. So this is an area on Glenarm, which is being redeveloped. They're bringing in aspen trees, but the proposal is to make this an open container area. Yes, that means a place where you can walk around and drink downtown. Awesome idea. If you want to get people back to an area, let them drink outside. I'm telling you, it's the move. Love that. Great call, Denver. Speaking of beer, so I mentioned the Downtown Denver Partnership, this group like carrying out this whole revitalization project. They have their own whole website, but then they also created this separate website recently, literally called summerindenver.com, specifically devoted to summer and what's going on downtown, presented by Southwest Airlines, but aimed at trying to get people downtown for the summer, which is great. This is what we want to see. So Glenarm Place, yes, but they also have a page for the Skyline Beer Garden. So you know the Skyline skating rink happens downtown. Well, in the summer, it's going to turn into a beer garden, which again, I'm not going pro booze here, but we are trying to get people out and about in the community. It's Colorado. Letting them drink beer outside is the way to do it. This website's also got an event calendar telling you what's going on any given day, and a page just dedicated to 16th Street, showing you all the wonders of what's going on. Getting here, art on 16th Street, the markets, they're trying. They're at least doing something. And in late May, City of Denver carried out they had a concert, an EDM concert downtown on 16th Street, right adjacent to it, that was sold out. Thousands of people came downtown for this, which, not an EDM fan, but that seems to be a good thing. Doing things like this, getting concerts, getting community events to get people down there, these are important steps. This is the soft power that the city needs to funnel in here to get people downtown, get them excited about being downtown again. It's got some quotes from people who thought it was cool. Seems like a step in the right direction to have things like this. Have the Glenarm Place development, have the Skyline Beer Garden. If you can couple that with making people feel safer, that's a recipe for long-term wins. That's a recipe for getting people back down here. So how different is 16th Street actually going to look when this is all said and done? Probably not a ton. From what I can tell, from what I've seen from what's already done, is it'll be updated, not dramatically revamped, just a little updated, but it's really less about what's being done to the actual street and the pedestrian walkways, and more about getting businesses back there and getting people downtown who want to support them. As always, I am optimistic in the long run. I'm probably in the minority, but it seems like the mayor's office and the administration seems to be taking the right steps and actually giving this attention. It's a lot easier just to criticize than it is actually to do something, especially at this scale in a city like Denver. So let's watch and see what happens. Like I said before, if I can do anything for you, would love for you to reach out. Otherwise, thank you for watching. As always, we'll talk soon.